Give the gift of a delicious burger from Bulldog Burger, a soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
When choosing a dentist for our family, Tupelo Smiles was the answer for us. They greet us with warm smiles right when we walk in the door, and they make us feel so welcome. We love Tupelo Smiles.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
A cold evening across North Mississippi, getting into those parade time frames. Some of those already started, but some we are waiting on. One of those being in New Albany. Chief Meteorologist Matt Laupon joining us just shortly here for Mississippi Live Weather at 6. But welcome in. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and we have a lot to talk about, and the main one being those temperatures. Yes, we are tracking bone-chilling temperatures for tonight, moving into the start of your Wednesday morning. If you thought this morning was cold, then you have to buckle up for the forecast heading into tomorrow morning. We're also talking about no rain in the forecast, but the key word being yet. More chances on the horizon heading into the latter part of this week, but tonight looking good to go. Wednesday looking good to go. Thursday, Friday, that's where things start to pick up once again. And are you ready for parades this evening? I know we are here at Mississippi Live Weather. You guys voted last night. Voted New Albany as a location where you wanted us to go, and our chief meteorologist Matt Laupon joining us live in New Albany tonight. Matt, I see people lining up. I see lights in the background. We are ready for Christmas parades, aren't we?
Yeah, people starting to line up here at the trailhead for the Tanglefoot Trail. We're in downtown New Albany. It is a chilly night. It is a beautiful night, and thankfully, at least we're not talking about any sort of precipitation here. Again, I want to thank the good folks there at MLM Clothiers for sponsoring us here on Mississippi Live Weather on our parade tracker that we have going on. And certainly everyone is bundled up. A nice aroma of hot chocolate with a lot of the folks that people are walking around with this evening. Something I'm going to probably have to get my hands on. I might have to get my daughter's hands on as well. I don't usually do kids first, especially in a live broadcast, but I got to show Penny in her attire here. And unfortunately, full pack mule mode, so that we had you wanted the chair. We brought the chair, and the rest of it's my garbage. So she's being very helpful tonight. I got to give her some credit so far at this evening. Now temperatures are cold, not just for her, but for everybody out there. Look at what they are coming in at this instant here. We are sitting at 33 degrees right now here in New Albany. It feels like 25. I mean, my eyes are watering here. Behind the scenes, and that then in turn is making my glasses fog up. A combination that obviously illustrates it. It is pretty chilly, likely to stay that way as we go through the evening here. The parade here in New Albany starting at 6:30, so everyone kind of getting lined up and ready to go for that. Our forecast in this evening, again, has those temperatures about 28, as you can see, through 10 p.m., about 27 by 1 o'clock in the morning, and down into the low 20s, and maybe even some teens out there by early tomorrow morning. Mississippi Live Weather Radar showing up with a couple of specks there of sort of blues. What that would indicate is it's not inconceivable to see a rogue snowflake, but are you expecting more than that? No, I don't think that'll be the case. Hey, it's not just here, it's in Pontotoc. We have Christmas parades tonight, and a rogue flake not impossible down there, though we showed just a few more returns closer to Houston. We'll look at that one in a minute. Ripley with a parade this evening as well. One of the later starts, I believe that one's 7 p.m., I believe. They're up in the Ripley area, up in Tippah County. Parades also today in Aberdeen this evening, I believe 6:30, as well as the case here in New Albany coming at 6:30 for the start of that parade down there in Aberdeen. As we slide out, I think Houston also tonight at 6, and I think Eupora is 6 o'clock as well. So both those getting underway pretty much as we speak here. And yeah, down there towards Houston, as you can see, just a couple light returns. Not impossible that a stray flake is visible, but I had a police officer, a law enforcement officer ask me a second ago, it's like, hold on, is it going to snow? More than a flake? The answer is a hard no as far as that is concerned. Go ahead and advance this to the next graphic there if you would, Gabe. And you'll see the temperatures are about as friendly as unfriendly gets, I guess, for Christmas parade time. At least it feels like the season, right? We're 33 in Tupelo, 36 degrees in Amory at this instant. Here in New Albany coming in right at 33 degrees. It's 31 in Holly Springs and 32 at the freezing point there in Oxford. The wind chill factor, that is one of the key things. Not a ton of wind, but there's enough that it feels like it's 25 right now in Tupelo, 29 degrees in Amory, 27 Hamilton, Alabama, and 28 there in Clarksdale. We referenced Houston a minute ago, 33, what it feels like in Houston. So a marginally big difference there between our 28, the wind chill up here in New Albany, and what they got down in Bruce or Houston, slightly milder there. So I guess that speaks to the extra little bit of wind that we have up here. So again, looking at Mississippi Live weather radar, as we widen this a little bit, the cloud cover is widespread across the region, and we continue to probably have, again, no precipitation with that into tonight of real major significance. Again, it is cold enough that if you are able to squeeze out something, a rogue flake is not impossible, but that, again, is probably the exception to the rule. So looking here at Futurecast over the next couple of hours, we keep it cloudy, we keep it dry, we keep it chilly. No big shock there as far as that is concerned into this evening. But as that high settles overhead, those winds calm down a little bit more. And despite the fact that a lot of times I would argue the blanket of cloud cover is what keeps us milder, that tells you that's the only thing probably keeping us from being in the teens tomorrow morning is we have that little blanket to hold us into the lower 20s to begin the day. And it still, nonetheless, is going to be a fairly chilly start to the day. So as we look at that forecast, next 24 from 23 in the morning, really bundling up the kids. Penny thinks she's cold now in the low 30s, 23 tomorrow morning, so 10 degrees colder than this. In no way did she just deflate a little bit on that. We're 45 by noon, we're 50 by afternoon, so we do warm up a little bit more for today on some southerly winds that are gradually moving in the area. We are looking ahead at some eventual chances for rainfall that do return a little bit later on in the week. And I want to emphasize it's probably rainfall associated with that. We will track with our meteorologist, Gabe Maynard, here in a couple minutes, the latest on when to expect that into the area as we're getting ready for the Christmas parade here in New Albany. We are here at the Tanglefoot Trail, and my wife wanted me to say that is not a hat, Penny. As she smiles on that one. Hold us down here for a second as we're getting ready again for the Christmas parade here. I want to thank the good folks at MLM for sponsoring our Christmas parade tour here in North Mississippi. And while she has her head bundled up like that, it's a smart choice. You see, most of the other folks are doing the same. So if you're heading to these Christmas parades tonight, whether it's New Albany, Pontotoc, or anywhere around the region, you want to make sure you're definitely bundling up at. Up in 60 seconds has more on your forecast and those chances for precipitation that, yes, should stay primarily liquid. But he's looking at where it's a little iffy in some spots. And we'll talk back and forth about that as Mississippi Live weather at 6 continues here from the Mobile Room to Room Weather Center right after this.
This roof's getting installed with our premium roofing system. Backed by our 50-year warranty. And there's a 0% financing, no payment for 6 months options that this customer utilized. If you're looking for a new roof, and you need an affordable option, call Absolute Restoration.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
By the time you see the symptoms of lung cancer, it could be too late. Now there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early. If you smoked, get scanned.
This portion of Mississippi Live weather is presented by Little's Jewelers.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynard.
We keep talking about the cold temperatures across North Mississippi and how it's at freezing for some, but Aberdeen, hey, look at your warm evening. Yeah, warm relatively speaking. 36 degrees right now, so still layer up, but not at freezing yet. Trending that direction as we get into those overnight hours. Very dry forecast, so no chance of rain in that forecast. 36 there towards Adenton, jumping out west. If you keep going down Highway 82, going to end up in Eupora and see a great Christmas parade there as well, but no chance of rainfall in that forecast either down around the Golden Triangle. As we take it up north, over there towards Oxford, 32 degrees right now when they have their Christmas parade up and going here shortly, so it's going to be a fun time all across North Mississippi as we bring in the holiday season with those Christmas parades, and of course one of those being in New Albany, where we are currently with Chief Meteorologist Matt LaPon. Matt, showing us the conditions and showing us a little bit of the activity around the area. Matt, what are you seeing so far on the ground? How cold does it truly feel?
Cold enough. Is that a fair statement that it's cold enough out here? We're at the trailhead for the Tanglefoot Trail. One of the most well lit, by the way, for live shot areas you're going to get around this time of the evening anywhere across North Mississippi, which is part of the reason why you found me here a couple times in the last month. Everyone is bundled up. And my daughter a second ago was like, "Hey, can we go in the bakery over there so that we can get a little warm?" Yeah, I think trying to find a few minutes of warmth before this gets going, not a terrible idea, and probably a good idea on there. But yeah, it seems like everybody covering up the heads, making sure to keep that warmth in that way. If you're going to the Christmas parades, obviously cover up the exposed skin. That will obviously make it a lot more pleasant for you and for the kids as well. Chairs, I mean, anything where you can kind of bundle up. Hey, how's it going? So talking to a lot of folks out here, everybody is definitely enjoying the app, talking about Mississippi Live Weather, which is always good to hear, but clearly have gotten the message that it is going to take some work to stay warm this evening and doing their best to do that. So we'll try to hopefully show you maybe a little bit of the parade as we get it ready to go here in just a little bit. But again, appreciate the good folks at MLM Clothiers for sponsoring our Christmas Parade Tour 2025. But Gabe, as we go back to the Room Weather Center there in Tupelo, I know the big headline, obviously cold now, but even colder weather on the way for tonight. And I know that you're going to be tracking just how cold those temperatures are, right?
Exactly, Matt. I mean, it's just a cold forecast across the region. No moisture in the air, maybe some up aloft, and that's where we're getting some of those blue returns, which is indicative of some flakes. But we're saying flakes lightly because a lot of this not actually reaching it to the ground, melting before it reaches the surface. And on top of that, if it does get down here, we're not talking about significant snowfall. No, we're talking about 1 or 2 flakes being seen. My wife saw a few in Boonville earlier on today. And so, yeah, nothing of note, but still a cool sight to see. We always love, what is it? I posted yesterday, you can't have Christmas without a little cold, without a little snow. So yeah, there you go. But that's the snow that we'll see here in North Mississippi. We don't usually get that significant stuff. And of course, a lot of those being showcased further towards our north to our neighbors up there in Tennessee and Kentucky. Rainfall totals for us over the past 12 hours, not a drop in sight. A lot of that rainfall has now pushed off towards the East Coast, leaving us with a drier forecast. You can see right there towards Columbia, South Carolina, out there towards Myrtle Beach. So if you're traveling for the holiday week, well, it's good you came back because you escaped the rainfall. All right, but looking at the cloud cover, because that's really our big story moving forward, you can see a lot of purples and blues that are showing up. I know, weird color palette, but it shows you that there is some dense cloud cover right overhead, and that's going to continue to linger overnight, keeping those skies mostly cloudy. There is some clearing out here towards Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. That could be filtering in off and on towards our Wednesday, but we're not exactly high on those sunshine chances. We are high on the dry weather, however. You can see that water vapor imagery showing you some drier air in the area, so despite there being some moisture aloft, down on the surface, it's a very dry pattern. That's really the result of high pressure over the top of us, so don't really be expecting any rainfall, but those gloomy conditions, unfortunately, being tied to that forecast. Parade planner this evening, probably heading out already, but we're at 35 degrees at the 6 o'clock hour. If some of your parades are more 6:30 or 7 o'clock, 32 degrees, so already right at freezing, and we're trending even colder from there. So hot chocolate, Matt was talking about it at the beginning, essential tonight, or some apple ciders, whatever you can do to stay warm. That's one of the many ways that you can do so. 30 degrees by 8, still with cloudy conditions. Not a forecast I'm envious of, Matt, so I know that it's fun in New Albany, but I really enjoy the heater that I'm experiencing here in the Room to Room Weather Center right now. Futurecast, let's go ahead and walk through it. Your Tuesday night, seeing those dry conditions across the region. High pressure, the big driver in that forecast, and as that high pressure moves closer to North Mississippi, those winds become a bit calmer as well, so don't be expecting too much of a difference in wind chill tomorrow. Hopefully that makes it a little bit more bearable, but we're looking at low 20s tomorrow morning, so we're saying bearable with a grain of salt because it's not going to be bearable whatsoever. Low 20s. Whew, not a forecast I want to be in. All right, Wednesday morning, as you can see, dry across the region with cloudy skies, but look at these temperatures. Yeah. 23 degrees Oxford, 23 Boonville, 24 Amory, 26 Eupora, 28 Greenwood, and 28 around Cleveland. So if you think it's cold right now, I pray for you when you leave the door tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Wind chill, like we said, not too much of a difference, only about a low 20s to mid 20s as we get out the door for our Wednesday morning. So like I said, that's the one good thing we can take with this cold of weather. High pressure still remains over the top of us for the start of our Wednesday. As you can see, that big H right overhead in North Mississippi, but we are watching this front out here towards Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. That inching closer and closer as we head through our Wednesday, but not going to impact our area for our Wednesday. So staying dry throughout the entire day. So make sure to get out there and enjoy it. But we are tracking cloudy conditions still overhead as we get into that mid to late morning time frame, and we keep that futurecast going into the noontime hour. So yes, cloud cover, it's going to be pretty dense, but not tracking any moisture attached to it, at least not moisture that will precipitate down to us here on in North Mississippi. We keep that futurecast going into the afternoon, and again, we're staying with those dry conditions right overhead. This is what I'm talking about, with a few breaks of sunshine possible, but this is really the extent that we're going to be getting. Not much of anything right along I-55, not an impossibility, and down there towards Louisville, Noxubee County, Lowndes County, even maybe parts of Clay County, but it's going to be off and on. So if you get sunshine, snap a picture, enjoy it. It's not exactly going to be a sunny week this week, so we need to enjoy what sunshine we do get. High temperatures for your Wednesday, 52 in Bruce, 48 Boonville, 52 around Louisville, 48 Cleveland, and 47 towards Tunica. So as you can see out there towards Arkansas and along the Tennessee state line, we're going to be sitting in the upper 40s for the high temperatures on our Wednesday. Not much of a difference from what we saw today, but some areas do get better, getting back into the low to mid 50s, but both still well below our normal average for this time of year. So yeah, it was too warm last week, too cold this week, so we can never win here in North Mississippi. As we keep that futurecast going, you can see that front moving closer and closer to our area. By the time we get towards that Wednesday night and Thursday morning, not an impossibility to get a few of these scattered showers to develop overhead. A lot of this going to be developing while we are asleep, but you do see some of that wintry mix popping up around the Tennessee state line. Now, I'm not completely sold that this reaches us here in North Mississippi because temperatures are still too warm. I mean, 32 degrees and below is what we need for winter precipitation to take place, and we're not exactly there even for our late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So yes, Futurecast tries to have it hinting into North Mississippi, and some pages might show that as well and say, oh my goodness, wintry mix overhead. Not really expecting that here in our area. We're going to get that cold rainfall once again, and more developing as we get towards our Thursday morning heading out the door, 6 a.m. south of Highway 82. Expand this out. That's not the end of it. As you look out here towards Texas, we do get more moisture developing out there on the east side of Texas, that building in as we head into our lunchtime hour there on our Thursday. And so we will get a little bit of a break between batches of showers. The first one coming by early morning, the second one coming late into the evening. So that's going to be moving in 3 p.m. Some isolated showers do develop, but watch how we get into that 4, 5, and 6 o'clock hour. Yeah, not exactly the forecast you need for those Christmas parades. I know we have a few happening Thursday evening. May need to look at potentially putting that on a different day just because of all these rain chances pushing into the forecast. Thursday evening, not the best outlook whenever it comes to those rain chances. Those linger in our forecast as well into 7, 8, 9, even 10 o'clock. So having a backup plan might be needed as we get into our Thursday forecast for sure. And then we could potentially have another chance at some wintry mix over there towards northwest Mississippi, DeSoto County. But again, not very sold on this as temperatures remain too warm for that winter precipitation to take place. High temperatures across the region. This is for our Thursday. Not saying that they're going to be warm whatsoever, just too warm for that winter precip. As you can see, reaching well into the upper 40s in Tupelo, same thing in Amory, low 50s Starkville and Eupora, and low 40s there in South Haven. So it's trying to prime the atmosphere for it, but still not there just yet, and we'll need that to trend a little bit cooler heading into the next few days if we were talking about the potential for maybe some sleet or something along those lines. But again, not sold on it, but rain chances do climb as we head through the rest of this week, so enjoy your dry day Wednesday, Thursday 40%, Friday 30% into those isolated chances for Saturday and Sunday. Looking at some of those rainfall totals, you can see the best chances south of Highway 82, but those chances do get into North Mississippi as well with a 1/10 of an inch around the Memphis area, 1/4 of an inch in Tupelo and Grenada. But yeah, definitely the best chances further towards the south. Basically 2 inches in Hattiesburg, 3 inches in New Orleans, 1 inch around Natchez. So yeah, if you want rainfall, go south, but we'll even be getting a few of those chances for Thursday and for our Friday, but clearing out by Friday evening, so not having to reschedule any of that. But I know we do have high school games in Davis Wade there in Starkville this week, happening Thursday. Those first matchups happening. I got to look back on who's playing, but it'll be 47 degrees for that first game, 43 by that second game around 7. And as we get towards that celebration, because of course, we're bringing home those state titles, 42 degrees, but you do see scattered chances of rainfall all game long. Not going to be expecting a lightning delay. It's just going to be a muddy game and a cold game at that with those rain chances in the forecast. Layer up, stay warm, stay dry, do what you can down there in Davis Wade and bring us home a state title here to the north half of the area. Going to be a fun one for sure. And it's been such a fun season all year long. We have we've been to 4 state championship games, or hang on, I'm saying this completely wrong. 4 teams that are in the state championships, we have been to their games out of the 6 that we have here in our viewing area, so that's a pretty good number. It means that we've seen some pretty good matchups as well. Saw a little bit of those highlights in the background, so we've enjoyed it. It's been exciting, and we get to wrap it up this week. And of course, we'll be talking to our Will Kohlmeyer coming up here in a few minutes about more on those matchups, so we'll hear from him here shortly. But looking at the 7-day forecast, because I know it's not just Thursday, it's also Friday and your Saturday down there in Starkville. We're still 30% chance of rainfall, still going to be for the morning time, so by the latter half of the day, those matchups taking place. Should be a much drier forecast. Saturday, isolated chances lingering, and same thing there by Sunday. But look at temperatures. We're not going to be anywhere near our normal high or normal low for the next 7 days. So if you've signed up for cold weather, or you were talking about it last week, how you want it to trend more into that late fall forecast, then this is the week for you. It's just going to be a gloomy forecast at that. Not much sunshine in this pattern, so enjoy what little bit you do get. Again, we will talk to our Will Kohlmeyer talking about the latest on those matchups this week, and we do have Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopp on there in New Albany giving us the latest on that parade forecast.
Hate is loud, but love is the majority.
I'm your retirement fear, but don't be scared. You're still in pre-retirement.
Does that mean I have more time to plan?
Precisely. This is pretirement.org.
This isn't scary. I'm doing it.
Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way dinner on the table brings a family closer together. It's the way we make sure his first chapter book is the first step on his path to greatness. It's the way we rally in hard times and rise back up stronger than ever. United is the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.
So we brought it up yesterday how we are having that merry and bright Christmas light extravaganza this month. It's going to be a fun one. We've had a few yesterday evening. We have more this morning, and we're adding to that total heading into this evening, starting with Shamika and Tupelo. Great shot there, Christmas lights, and we hung ours on our roof. It was hours upon hours of process. So seeing all of this all the way across the roof is just a great sight, and I have so much more respect for folks that hang Christmas lights on the roof, because my word, was it an adventure. I love the big bulbs too, gingerbread people. That one hanging on the roof, that is impressive. I'm definitely curious how you got that up there. So if you want to add to that and let us know, I would love to know how to do something like that at the Maynard household next year, because that looks incredible. Thank you for submitting that picture. And you weren't the only one. There were several submissions, and this is Ginger as well. Unfortunately, I did not get a location, so I don't know where to see these in person. And if you have submitted any pictures, make sure to put that location attached to it so we'll all get to marvel at your beautiful Christmas lights. I know a lot of folks putting those submissions in the comments. Go back, add the location, so that way we're able to let folks know where to see your beautiful Christmas lights. Now, Ginger, you do have a great look there. My favorite one, Canes has a Christmas blow up. That is so much fun, and I had to include it once I saw the Canes, because that is just, oh my word, that's one of my favorite Christmas decorations right there. Lining the fence line as well, have Merry Christmas in the back end. Of course, got to feature Bucky the Beaver. It's a fun time out there. So Ginger, got to let me know the location, because I need to see those blow-ups in person. It's definitely a fun sight. So if you do have any Christmas lights and you want it to be showcased here on Mississippi Live Weather, go ahead and put it in Matt's comments on his featured post on his page. It's on his Facebook page, by the way. Or you can send it in to Mississippi Live Weather, and we'll add those to the broadcast throughout the month. We're doing this all the way up until Christmas. So if you have something that you want to feature and put a lot of hard work into it, let us show it off and put those in the comments. All right, it is the start of a new month, and I always love going back and assessing what took place during our November months. First one being those high temperatures. As you can see, several cool days in the month, but a warm spell definitely stands out, seeing a lot of those above average temperatures from the 12th all the way through the 25th. We were sitting above average here in North Mississippi, with a few 80s still popping up late into the month of November, but then things finally started to even out, and we got the 26th through the 30th with some cooler temperatures in place, with 47 degrees being actually, I say that, the 10th, 41 degrees was the lowest high temperature that we had here in the Tupelo area. All right, let's keep that going into our low temperatures, and two definitely stand out to you, setting two records this month, the 10th and the 11th, with how cold those temperatures were. 25 25 degrees on the 10th, 23 on the 11th. So that was the first time in 2025 in this fall and winter season that we have gone below freezing. And we didn't just go below freezing, we went all the way into Antarctica, basically. But the 10th and the 11th stand out, but several days that we were sitting around freezing before we warm back up. And again, that warm streak from the 14th through the 25th, showing those above average temperatures even for our low temperatures. But this month, not exactly warm, not exactly cold, but it was very dry. Take a look at those zeros populating on your screen right now from the 1st all the way through the 19th before we finally got that impactful rainfall on the 20th. This was not a very rainy month whatsoever, except for the 25th with 1.5 inches, but definitely fun to look back now that we're having some rain in the forecast and see what we had to live through. I mean, that is just a very dry pattern. Ponds were drying up. My favorite fishing spot over at Pops, it was unfortunately dried up, but the fish were still in there. Just, not exactly as high water levels as what it has been throughout the season. Day planner today showcasing those, I'm standing right in front of it, showcasing those dry conditions, potentially for some patchy fog overnight, but it's going to be those cloudy skies, once again, that highlight all of North Mississippi. So make sure to prepare, have those layers, but enjoy a dry forecast across North Mississippi. All right, our Will Kohlmeyer told you that he had touched base. He was live in Davis Wade earlier on today, tracking those playoff matchups. Let's hear from him now. I will look at that behind the scenes, something with the audio. So we'll get that addressed. And at the 10 o'clock hour, we will hear from Will over there at Davis Wade. And he'll be joining us throughout this week, talking about those matchups each and every day. So he'll have the latest on what to expect, who's playing, and who needs to bring that trophy back home. All right, let me make sure and see, because I know that we're wanting to go live once again, but we're going to go ahead and wrap up this broadcast, and we're going to go back live for the New Albany Christmas Parade happening in just a couple of minutes. So you guys keep it here. We're going to do a whole new stream that we'll let get going. So yeah, excited for it, and we'll see you guys back here very shortly. Oh, and of course, download the app in order to see it, that QR code on the bottom right and left of your screen. And our broadcast, we're going to do a special one happening at 6:30 with that Christmas parade. And our next broadcast talking about the forecast will be at 10 o'clock tonight.
Hi, my name is Rosie. Regional Rehab Center helps kids like me by offering speech therapy, occupational therapy, and dyslexia therapy. Your support helps so many of us get what we need to grow and succeed. Please help the Rehab Center